All right, Brandon, can you hear me?
I can. And me?
I can hear you just fine. Hello, happy Valentine's
Hello.
Day, and welcome to today's live stream. Join the AI revolution and deliver exceptional customer service. Artificial intelligence has been making the headlines with ChatGPT. There's Google's AI chatbot Bard, Bing's AI powered search, plus a ton of other AI apps and services that seem to be coming out almost every day. It really does seem like there is an AI revolution that is just starting to happen. And when it comes to customer experience, the AI tools that are available cannot be ignored. And that is the topic for today's live stream. My name is James. I'm the studios director at 729 Solutions, and joining me is Brandon Tidd, senior solutions architect and Zendesk guru at 729 Solutions. Thanks for joining me, Brandon.
Happy to be here.
So I'm really excited to talk with you, Brandon, because this buzz around AI feels like the early days of the internet, at least for me. I started out as a web developer over 20 years ago, and there have been some pretty big advancements during that time, but I can't really think of anything that has had such a major impact in such a short period of time. So, Brandon, I'm hoping you can provide us with a bit of your background and your take on the latest news and developments around artificial intelligence.
Yeah, so I grew up with the internet just like you did, and I remember the days of AOL dial-up and You've Got Mail and Web 1.0, where we were just getting information. And then, we saw the revolution of Web 2.0 with social media and interacting with content. And now we're really moving in, and we're at the precipice of Web 3.0, which I don't think anybody really has a good working definition of what Web 3.0. Some people think it's cryptocurrency, some people think it's AI. Regardless, it's going to be transformational and it's going to be impactful for business. That part we do know because we're already starting to see that trend, whether it's through customer experience and interacting with chatbots, or just the way we search for things and have conversations with search engines through Google and Bing. It is really transformational in the way we think about the way data is presented and the way we engage with the digital web.
Yeah, that's a great word, transformational. I mean, it really is, transforming the internet. Um, so as we kick things off, I just want to remind people that Zendesk's CX Trends 2023 event is tomorrow, February 15th, rather. And as a lead up to the event, Brandon, you have been posting quick tips based on this year's Zendesk CX Trends report. And during this live stream, you'll be sharing your 10th and final quick tip: deliver exceptional customer service with AI. So as we kick things off, I want to invite our live stream viewers to post their questions about AI and or customer experience in the comments. And Brandon and I will try to answer them on the fly or towards the end of the stream. Okay, Brandon, I mentioned that you've been posting quick tips on LinkedIn and social. Please give us a summary. Please give us a quick summary of the previous 9 tips you shared leading up to today.
Yeah, so all of this content is gathered from that CX Trends report, which is personalized for your industry and your region. And you can get your own free version of that by clicking the link or following the link that's in the crawler at the bottom of the screen. Well, I'm sure we'll post that in the comments as well. But I would highly encourage you to spend some time with the data as it relates to you and your industry, and also take a listen to the webinar tomorrow, because this is just we're tip of the iceberg in terms of the content that we've been able to pull out and summarize here over the past week and a half. And so the first tip that we really talked about was really embracing that power of immersive customer experience. The gone are the days of waiting 1 to 2 days to get an email response, or clicking through an IVR. People really have an expectation now of having a seamless conversation with the company, switching from one channel to another with ease, and really talking and having a conversation, whether it's with a human or a chatbot. That's the power of immersive customer experience, where we're moving away from transactional ticketing and more into conversational CRM. And it's no wonder. 81% of leaders see this as a top priority for the coming year. So as we say, buckle up because the future of customer support is here, and it's more personal than ever before. And so where does AI fall into that? And so we see AI really being transformational in terms of leveling up the customer experience, and customers are ready for it. 75% of consumers expect AI to provide them with the same level of service as human agents, at least from a knowledge perspective, and being able to go out and find and understand what they're trying to say. And even more, 73% are expecting more AI interactions in their daily lives to improve the overall quality of customer service. So it is time for businesses to step up and meet these high expectations, because if you're not, chances are your competitors are already are. And so there's no time like the present to start exploring how you can elevate your customer experience game with cutting edge AI technology. And that brings us into tip number 3, which was providing that seamless conversational experience. So 60% of consumers report interacting with agents that had absolutely no context. And James and I were talking before the live stream. I know you've been there as well, where you've talked to the chat bot, you've given all of the information, you went into great detail describing your problem, and the AI isn't able to help. So it very dutifully hands it off to a human agent, and that agent goes, "Hi, what's your name? Where are you calling from? What can we help you with?" No context for anything that you just talked to the AI about. And so that period of time is coming to a close, and I say good riddance. 70% of consumers are purchasing more from companies that offer seamless conversational experiences, and 64% are spending more when their issues are resolved in the moment. So if in an ideal world, the AI can serve as tier 0 and self-service to deflect and solve that customer's request sight unseen. But if it's gonna hand it off to the human agent, at the very least, we need to be bringing that content forward. And whether you're doing that with data in your home-built CRM or integrations that a company like 729 Solutions has built for you, or just layering in some of that chat GPT magic with a partner like Haptic or Ada, to be able to have more of that conversational context in the conversation itself, that is going to be the new bar and the new minimum that customers are going to expect moving forward. And beyond that, we're still going to need to empower agents with soft skills, because AI is very good at gathering data, and it's getting better at having conversations and emulating a human. But 75% of leaders are still striving to make customer service feel more conversational. And a lot of that has to go down to how we're measuring the KPIs related to how we're defining success, and training customer service reps on that soft skill that will create satisfying, personalized experiences for customers. And you can download the report to see how the latest customer service trends in your industry are happening in your region of the world, to make it right for you and your customers. And all this kind of blurs the line between marketing and customer support. Those used to be very siloed organizations or departments within an organization. The marketing team focused on, talking at the customer with the marketing messaging, and customer support focused on listening to the customer. And that world has really been kind of turned upside down. With the rise of AI and customer service, there is a growing demand for that conversational experience. But really thinking about that in context of what personalization means to consumers. So that 62% of consumers want more personalization and want you to use the data that you already know about them to deliver that truly personalized experience to set you apart from your competitors and from bad customer experiences. And, for all the talk that all the hype that there's been around AI and conversations and the future of CX, it really has an impact on the customer's journey. With 66% of consumers reporting frequent interactions with support, say only takes one bad interaction, it can literally ruin their day. But on top of that, 2/3 of consumers who feel that a company cares about their emotional state, and they are more likely to be a repeat customer. And I think we saw this with Southwest over the holidays and the absolute meltdown that they had from a customer service perspective. These things have a lasting impact. It doesn't just matter if you solve the customer's request anymore. Now we're coming down to how we solve the customer's request and how proactive can we be in recognizing that there's a problem and doing something to take corrective action to improve the customer experience before that customer even reports a problem.
Yeah. We've all had those, I'm gonna just say, horrible customer experiences, but what a difference it makes when, the agent on the other end of the line really, relates to you and steps up and takes care of the problem that you're experiencing there. Brandon, I'm just going to give you a little break here to, take a sip of water and come up for some air here. I just want to bring our live stream viewers that are just tuning in. Brandon is recapping his CX trends quick tips that has led up to this live stream for today. I also want to ask if there are any companies that have given our live stream listeners stellar customer service. Let us know about it in the comments. Give them a shout out. All right, take it away, Brandon. Continue on, please.
Yeah, and one company that I always highlight when we're talking to companies about CX and good CX and the Zendesk experience and what Zendesk can do is BarkBox because they are known in the industry for providing legendary customer service and customer experience, and they have a really robust platform for customer support. So I always like to give them a shout out. Plus, my dog loves their boxes, so it's good. I guess it would be DX dog experience. I don't know if that's a thing. We're gonna make it a thing, but going back to the tips, we're all the way to tip number 7 with streamlining collaboration. And this is really what Zendesk takes to heart in terms of having one conversation connected seamlessly across devices, channels, places, people. And that also involves sometimes reaching outside of the Zendesk ticketing system and ecosystem to bring in other players, other actors from your organization that don't spend day to day inside of the world of customer support. Maybe they're using Jira because it's an engineering team. Maybe they're using Slack or Teams, Trello, Asana. The list goes on of different places and different tools that companies use to maintain their day to day work. And Zendesk can connect with all of them and really bring that conversation back into the ticket to allow that conversation to continue in one channel so that anybody who may pick up that conversation later can and really have the context that they need to pick up where the other person left off. And so many times I know that historically I've had to go from Zendesk to Jira before we had that integration. And, I'm copying and pasting from one system into another system. And then the reverse is true. Once that system gets updated, copying and pasting back. That's not good CX, and we can really use the integrations and AI to start to connect the dots between those other systems to bring that conversation, bring the full context of the conversation. And once you start to see the forest through the trees, to understand how everything's connected, it's really providing a better customer experience, not only for your consumers and your customers, but also for your internal customers, your employees that are having to work within these systems every day. And I think that we've thought for so long about the customer service industry and customer support as just a drain on resources, unnecessary evil on the budget line. But more and more, we're seeing this improved customer satisfaction turn into an increased ROI. And with the expectation of a 75% increase in ticket volume, it can seem daunting to invest in the customer experience. However, what we're seeing is that 77% of companies are experiencing positive ROI on their CX investments. So this could be an indicator that companies who invest in CX are not only improving customer satisfaction, but they're also seeing tangible financial benefits. And what goes hand in hand with that is obviously investing in customer retention. So 83% of leaders here in America, where we're based, are planning to increase CX budgets, with 82% putting a greater emphasis on retaining customers. It's now is the time to step up your customer service game by investing in those customers and those customer journeys. You not only retain them, you're also fostering loyal brand advocates. And that all of that brings us down to tip number 10, which is the final tip on the CX Trends quick tips that we've been doing here. And that's to deliver exceptional customer service with AI. And so as the advancements in AI continue to shape customer experience, your organization must stay ahead of the curve. It's imperative that you look now and start putting plans in place so you're not left in the dust. There's so many AI capabilities that are now plug and play. It's easier than ever to implement AI and see results, but you don't have to stop there. Just doing it and doing what everybody else is doing, jumping on the Chat GPT bandwagon and maybe making your bot a little bit more intelligent is a good first step. But we also want to make sure that we're building in flexibility so that you can quickly adapt your customer experience strategy and make the most of the latest AI advancements as the space continues to evolve at breakneck speed over the next weeks, months, years. Where it is not going to be where it is in 6 months and a year from now. And it's the companies that stay agile, the 68% of leaders that are already planning on increasing their investments in AI, that are going to stay ahead of that game and deliver exceptional customer service with the power of AI. And if you want more, I would advise going on to that webinar tomorrow, and they're going to talk more about the impact that AI has on the CX experience moving forward.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Brandon. Whew, that was a lot there. So thanks for giving us the rundown and the final 10th quick tip for today. Let's dig in a little bit on that 10th tip there. Talk to us about what are the key benefits of incorporating AI into a business's customer service strategy?
Yeah, so I think a bottom line is it keeps you on par with your competitors that are also investing in AI. We've touched on that and the importance of having that conversational experience and providing a better customer experience, a frictionless customer experience for your consumers. But also it's leveraging the power of computational technology to very quickly access things that we literally didn't have the ability to access before. With Zendesk's messaging system now being able to interact with APIs, we can do things like have the consumer put in their tracking number and hit an API endpoint and have the AI return back their shipping information without ever having to go to an agent. And it's those type of experiences that are going to help streamline and improve the efficiency around your human capital, that it allows them to operate more efficiently, to spend time with higher value problems. And one of the folks that I follow on LinkedIn, I think, said it best. It's not AI instead of humans, it's AI plus humans. And the technology is there to allow us to operate more efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely. Second question here. How can organizations ensure that they stay ahead of the curve with the advancements in AI to maximize their returns?
Yeah, so I think it comes down to just staying informed. Following things like the CX Trends report is a great start, but also just looking at what the big players are doing in the space and what the evolution of Google and Bing is going to mean for companies and consumer expectations. Because I think we got into this lull for the past 20 years, this almost false sense of security that I could just type my question into Google and it would come up with an answer. And we got very used to that transactional kind of Q&A environment. And if you spent any time playing around with ChatGPT and some of the technology that's coming out in terms of AI, we're starting to see it shift where we're getting more used to having a conversation with the AI opposed to just ask and answer. And I think a lot of the customer service technology and frequently asked questions and knowledge centers or help centers have fundamentally been built around that expectation of, I'm going to ask you a question, you're going to give me an answer, and then I'm going to ask you a different question, you're going to give me a different answer, versus what we're experiencing today with ChatGPT is a contextually aware conversational format where I'm maybe telling you a little bit about myself and asking a contextual based question and then asking a follow up to that question, which is, by the way, what some people are doing already with AI and just not yielding the expected results. Like the AI is saying, I don't know the answer to that question, or I've lost the context for what you were talking about, so I need you to give me a little bit more. Once Google and Bing and Microsoft perfect or iterate out the evolution of AI, I think we're definitely going to see consumer expectations shifting, that the chat that they're having with the AI on your website or in your app is going to be on pace with what their experience is with their favorite search engine.
So you touched a little bit on this with the 10th tip, but I wanted to, kind of dive in a little bit deeper. What are some practical tips for building flexibility into a business's customer experience strategy that will allow them to take advantage of the latest AI advancements?
Yeah, so I think that it comes down to picking the right partners to start. We've seen what Zendesk is doing, the investments that they've made in Sunshine Conversations, and allowing you to bring that AI experience into other channels where it traditionally wasn't available, like WhatsApp, and allowing the AI to start to take control of some of those conversations, whether it's adding in chatbot partners like Ada or Haptic to be able to leverage some of that predictive text technology natively inside of the software. Language learning models are expensive and they're hard to implement on your own. So you work with companies that are already setting that gold standard and raising the bar, because those are the companies that are not only on the leading edge but are committed to investing and reinvesting in their own platforms to keep you on top of the CX trends, whether that's Zendesk with its messaging platforms or a third-party partner. The As the journey continues to evolve, these companies have a vested interest in continuing to evolve their strategy. And so when we say be agile, we're just talking about reevaluating these platforms and these programs on a biannual basis, or whatever is the right frequency for your business to keep up, to make sure that you don't just set it and forget it. We are well past the days of, we built our help center, we've added our static FAQs. We can walk away from this. We can kind of put this on the back burner. AI, at least for the foreseeable future, is going to be one of those things that needs to be omnipresent in every conversation you're having at the C-suite level. It needs to be permeating through your support ecosystem, and even your, and actually what type of experience your customers can potentially get from others. And the one tip that's a bonus tip that I always say when we're talking with our customers is, when was the last time you chatted with your own company? When was the last time you opened a private browsing window and tried to contact your support team, either through email, through phone, through a chat widget? What's that experience like for you? How's it resonating with you? Is it the expectation that you got? If you've implemented self-service, are you able to find the questions and the answers to the questions that you're looking for? And it opens a lot of eyes where people think, oh, I have a good customer experience, and then they actually go and try to be the customer themselves, and they're like, this sucks, and we need to fix this. Why hasn't anybody brought this to our attention? And the reality is that bad CX is so prevalent that customers don't flag it to you. They just move on to another company. And so there's really this kind of glaring blind spot in a lot of C-suites that exists because they don't have support at the table, that they haven't brought in the voice of the customer into those conversations. And those are the companies that are going to get left behind.
So the theme, I'm going to call it a theme. The theme at this year's CX Trends event, Zendesk's CX Trends event, is immersive CX, and the role that AI plays with that notion of immersive CX seems to be significant. What is your take on that? I mean, do you sense the same thing?
Yeah, I do sense that there's a shift happening in the industry as AI evolves, and as I think ChatGPT was the catalyst of, like, everybody kind of woke up and said, and in their defense, they didn't even know what they had when they launched it. They were surprised, along with the rest of us, how quickly they amassed the amount of users and attention that they did when they took it live. They certainly didn't expect the notoriety that they had achieved in such a short time. But I'll tell you who wasn't surprised by that. It was Microsoft. It was Google. It was Zendesk, because they've been reading the tea leaves for a while, and they really understood that this, it has been a dam that's been waiting to break, or primed to break, for a long time. And I think customer expectations will continue to evolve, where today they might be intrigued or humored by a good customer experience or a bad customer experience. But flash forward 2 years, and if you don't have an AI bot that is holding their hand and giving them that personalized experience, they're just going to go somewhere else. And I think that that's what we talk about with immersive customer experiences: using the data, using the knowledge, using the context. The co-founder of the company that eventually was acquired by Zendesk to become Sunshine Conversations, I think, said it best: is when you see a teenager and they are completely immersed in their device, and they're just heads down in their device, they're not enamored with the technology. They're not invested in the technology. They're invested in the content and the people behind it, and the algorithms that are curating content that is relevant to them. And it's all about context. And if this is a very intelligent device, but if it serves me something that's not relevant to my needs, that's not an experience that I'm looking to have, then I'm just going to click away and move on to another experience. And I think that companies that thrive and survive in the next 3 to 5 years are going to be the companies that recognize that seismic shift and adapt to it.
Well, before we wrap things up, Brandon, is there anything else that you would like to say about either immersive CX or AI in general?
Yeah, I think that it can be daunting, right? Like, anytime we talk about language learning models and other get into the weeds on the technical side, which is stuff that I love. I can kind of see the C-suite glaze over and go, okay, well, what does it mean for the bottom line? How much is it going to cost me?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that part of our job as consultants is to demystify it a little bit, and to say that we're not really changing anything about the way you do business. Whether these are just tools in our toolkit to provide better customer service experience than what your competitors can provide. And everybody, that's the sum game for everybody that's in the customer service and customer experience space. Like, we're always trying to do 1% better, and this is just this flavor of 1% better. We go back to 2014, when Zendesk first offered live chat. They're saying, guys, people really expect to have a live chat experience and a text-based experience. They don't want to email you. They don't want to call you. And here we are, 8 years later, going, that was only 8 years ago. It sounds like I'm talking about the 1980s. But when it comes to AI, today it's all buzzwords and ChatGPT and Bard, and nobody really knows what it means. But what it means is that computers are getting smarter, computers are getting more intelligent to provide context with a better level of return, a better rate of return. And they can do this at scale. If you've got a database over here with 10,000 customers, it would take a human at least a minute, maybe two, to go find that customer record, to look up that order number, to find that tracking. Whereas the AI can do this instantaneously, or nearly instantaneously. And it's that experience that, when you couple your human support with the empathy and the soft skills to be able to hold the hand of a customer who's had a bad experience. Maybe their shipment was lost, maybe it was damaged in transit. AI is not going to replace the human empathy, at least not in the near term, but it can help shepherd that conversation and make it less clunky. And I think it's the companies that lean into that and understand that it is additive, not replacing the current experience, that will survive and thrive. And just download the CX Trends report for more, because there's a lot of stuff that we didn't have time to get into.
Well, that is all the time that we have for today. And as Brandon just said, Zendesk CX Trends 2023 event is tomorrow, February 15th. You can download your personalized CX Trends report and register for the event using the URL in the ticker on this live stream. Brandon, thanks as always for taking some time out for a chat with me.
Of course.
We'll talk soon.